Okay, so I don't steal your time anymore. Cserkó, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. And I share my screen. Do you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, thank you. And my agenda. Yeah, this is our agenda for this day, and I will paste it into the readme.md familiar readme.md file. And yes, as you can see here on the agenda, mainly talk about Angular building, discuss building in general. After that, I will introduce my new project named NGC Esbuild, and also discuss the difficulties of a job like this. Next, I will demonstrate to you my tool in real life, and finally we will test a lot, and you can send any questions to the question wall, and I will answer for them. Answer them. Yeah, this is the short agenda. So firstly, I introduce myself. I have been teaching ethical hacking, Angular, and other web-based technologies at the local university for several years. And I am also a daddy and a happy husband and so on. And our main topic is creating a new builder for Angular, and generally creating builders for Angular. And CLI builders are part of Angular and are responsible for linting, testing, and building projects. In Angular documentation on angular.io, I will show you this documentation page. Angular.io and builders and building Angular applications. Yes, in docs and Angular tools, CLI builders. CLI builders based on Node.js, and CLI builders response for building Angular application, linting, and so on, as I mentioned. And when talking about builders, we have to understand the building process. This process is complicated because it has to compile, check, and compress the source code. Moreover, Angular provides many optimizations and more complexity to the basic Webpack solution. And the core module and core technology in Angular building is Webpack. Webpack is a familiar packing and building tool for web-based projects, and Webpack is a good technology, good program, but this is too big and sluggish and too slow, and I wanted to invent and create a new builder, a new and a faster builder for Angular projects. My first try was I have many students who are learning Angular because I am a teacher and I have many students, but unfortunately, many of them don't have a sufficiently powerful computer for Angular because the Angular CLI and Webpack are resource-consuming technologies. When I recognized this problem, I started a new project for building Angular projects faster. I looked for the right programs and solutions and checked Parcel, Rollup, and native TypeScript, and many more, but didn't find the right solution. And Parcel and White and so on is awesome softwares, but it hasn't any optimizations, any optimizations for Angular. And finally, I found an article about a simple builder for Angular made by Esbuild. I didn't know Esbuild, and Esbuild was a new technology for me. And I checked this solution and this post. And I will open this original post. This was an idea, and Marcin Vosinek, colleague, posted this content on 2021, and this is only a part of a bigger post. And starting point was MPX, Angular CLI, new Angular application. This is a simple step. And install Esbuild and save dev. I will zoom in. And Esbuild, this is the main Esbuild command. Esbuild, src, main ts, bundle, and so on. And Esbuild can build Angular projects, but not a good and not a correct solution because there are many limitations. For example, styles URL. Angular uses component decorator for building and expanding components with metadata, and this metadata contains selector, template, style URLs, and much more optimizations and settings. And Esbuild Esbuild doesn't know these decorators, and Esbuild doesn't read these sources. And Marcin solution was lift up the settings at the top of the file, and this is not too efficient solution, but it requires that we recode the whole application. I didn't like it. and first problem, the imports. This is the import. This is an explanation of import problem. And we have to place imports the top of the file, but Angular imports are in the component decorator. And I create a plugin, an Esbuild plugin for this problem. This is my plugin. And this plugin checks the template URL and with regular expression, and unpack this URL, create an import statement, and places it the top of the file, and replace the original settings with template source. And this short code, this tiny code, was very useful because I could compile Angular applications with Esbuild, and I was very happy, and started a new project based on it, named NGC Esbuild. This is the repo of it, NGC Esbuild on GitHub, and this project is the version 0075, and I currently am developing this project actively, and there are some issues, and I have some colleagues who is helping me for developing. Yes, and the first problem was the imports. The second problem was the constructors. Angular constructors is weird, are weird animals. Why? I will show you a regular Angular constructor. For example, in the app component, and when I create a new Angular constructor, TypeScript constructor, and I can place markups into the parameter list for dependency injector. And for example, I create a new service, and I already created a service named car service, and I can place this service into the constructor, private car service with car service type, and this is a common task in Angular developing. Yes, but Esbuild doesn't know this markup, and Esbuild doesn't know Angular dependency injector. When we place this code into the constructor, Esbuild throws an error because Esbuild doesn't know the car service class, and the solution is placing the inject decorator, and set the correct type of injected resource, car service, and this markup is good and is right for Esbuild, because TypeScript decorator injects this service into the constructor, and it is working well. And this is a good solution. My second optimization in NGC Esbuild, this optimization, NGC Esbuild, and bin plugin Esbuild component decorator, yes. And this is not a not a too nice code, but it is working. And this code responds for injecting services and injectable things into the constructors. For example, this is the line where my plugin injects the inject decorator and places inject decorator into the parameter list. Yes, I solved this problem, and I continued the developing process, and my solution, my builder, NGC builder, became more and more faster and more and more better, and so on. But I ran into a problem with Angular dev kit integration. It is necessary to integrate this tool into Angular, because my tool is a standalone tool, and this tool, this builder, is not integrated into Angular dev kit ecosystem and Angular dev kit interface. And when someone wanted to use it, he wants to, or he has to change the Angular code and Angular JSON and so on, and has to make a lot of optimizations. It is not too good. And I created a new version of this NGC Esbuild application and plugin for Angular dev kit builder. And Angular provides a complex way to integrate a custom builder into its ecosystem. This integration has many advantages, but it's challenging and lengthy. What are the advantages of this integration? First is can use the existing environment and settings, and increase the complex compatibility of older Angular versions, easier testing, and it's enough to change a single line in the Angular JSON for using it. And this is nice. And my second program and second plugin, Node.js package and Node.js package and so on, is NGC Esbuild dev kit. This is a wrapper for NGC Esbuild, and this wrapper connects to Angular interfaces, and runs my NGC Esbuild builder with Angular with Angular parameters and Angular settings. For example, I created a sample application. This is the sample application, and I use the ngc esbuild dev kit in this application. Firstly, I will show you the simple building this with this tool, and the first step is installing this tool and downloading this tool into our project. For example, npm I ngc esbuild dev kit at latest with as a development dependency. This is a time-consuming thing, maybe. And
yeah, sorry for interrupting, Joe. I just wanted to remind you that we have a couple of questions and surveys. Just let me know when you want to share these.
Questions?
Yeah, you know the questionnaires. Like, we prepared a couple of questions, like how experienced Angular developers are we? Sorry? Okay, I don't know what it was. Anyway, yeah, just let me know. I don't know, because we had a bit of time because of this npm.
Thank you. I will check the.
Okay, just let me know later.
Slido application. I will answer them soon. Yes, and yeah, yes, I installed and then downloaded this package. The second step is changing the AngularJSON file. AngularJSON contains setting for builders. In this line, AngularJSON contains the Angular dev kit build Angular builder, and I will change it to my own builder, ngc esbuild dev kit and build. The second occurrence is Angular dev kit with Angular dev server, ngc esbuild dev kit serve. And the third is for testing, ngc esbuild dev kit test. Yes, that's it. And when I ran npm start command, npm start calls ngserve, and ngserve calls my builder ngserve, yes, serve. Yeah, ngserve calls ngc esbuild dev kit serve command, and my builder runs the application, and this is the command line output. esbuild completed this task in about 300 milliseconds. This is an impressive time, and runs this application with the own own live server. I wrote an own live server, and this live server is very tiny and very fast, and when I change something, for example, I change the title of this application, testing and mocking, so on, and save it. Mocking app is running. Yeah, and this functionality is the same of the Angular functionality, and I have to change one code line and install a new package. That's it. Yes. And we will check the questions. We will check. Marcel, please show the questions. We can't hear you.
Sorry, thank you very much. Yeah, it was the wrong button. Anyway, we don't have any questions until now in the Q&A part, but we are still waiting for your questions. Okay, right now we have a question. Then I just send you the link because you are already sharing your screen, and then we can just see it on your screen. Just a second. I have sent it as a private message, so you will be able to open the link. Or should I simply share my screen? That's also a solution.
Yes. Don't forget to ask questions here. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Meanwhile, I share my screen.
What's the reason behind the packages not working with Tailwind yet, and how can you solve the problem? Yeah, this is a familiar question for me, because a guy sent me a message 2 or 3 years ago, and this guy asked me about Tailwind. Currently, I am not. I don't solve this problem. But I am working on it. I'm working on it. I don't know that Tailwind CSS Tailwind CSS how run because Tailwind CSS is a CSS framework, and CSS frameworks usually use a CSS file and so on, and that's it. And Tailwind CSS is working another way, and I have to check this functionality and this method for solve this problem. But I am searching. I'm looking for new contributors for this project, and there I go. I don't know. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but I had a student with this name. I don't know that who. That's you. Hello, and you can help me. You can help me. Please send me a message, and we will discuss it. Okay.
The Q&A part is becoming a chat.
Yes, becoming a chat. Yes. I know this problem, and I understand it. But Tailwind uses another way for integrating Angular. I will check it. Yes, and we have 2 or 3 questions. Please tell them.
Okay. I'm just considering with which one should we begin. Maybe we could ask first how much experience you have with Angular. So if everything's went well, then you should see that a questionnaire just popped up in Zoom. Okay, the answers are coming. We have 4 answers out of 14 participants right now. Now we have 9. So there are still 5 people who didn't answer. We have 10, 11 answers, pretty good. It's actually a pretty good rate with 78%. There are still 3 people who could even answer. The question is, how long do we want to wait? I would say that's already a pretty good rate. So I will just end the poll and share the results with you so you can also see. And actually most of us have an experience between 0 and 2 years. So not more than 2 years. And the rest, is, has more than 2 years. So it's about 50% who has less than 2 years or more than 2 years. Any conclusions, Joe? What does that mean for us?
I don't know that Angular is a familiar framework, and as I see, there are many junior programmers and some experienced Angular developers, and building process is not a starter topic of Angular, and this is extremely difficult, and as we see, there are a lot of Angular builders.
Exactly, the competition is not too big.
Yes, and my field and our field is maybe empty, and this is a good field for developing, but this is an Angular meetup, and we have a second question.
Yeah, exactly. Then I continue with the second question. It was, it's meant to survey or ask your satisfaction with the current Angular
How
builder.
satisfied are you?
Exactly, between 1 and 6. 1 is horrible and 6 is couldn't even be better. We have 5 answers until now.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the current Angular builder, which most probably you are already using, also during development and also for production builds. Until now we got 10 answers. So we have a rate of 71%. Maybe we can get a couple of more. We have still 4 people who didn't answer. So the question is, how satisfied are you with the current Angular builder between 1 and 6? Okay, we got 1 more answer. That's pretty good. It's already the rate we achieved in the last questionnaire. So I just share the results. Actually, there was just one person who found it horrible. All the others found it, yeah, modest. Not the best, but it's okay. It fulfills its purpose, looks like that. Okay, then I would ask a question directly from you, Joe, if you doesn't mind. How do you see the future of this package and of this open source project?
I don't know the future, but I think I will continue developing this project and this program, and next step will be the VB fixes, for example, fixes for two big files, five size issue, because Esbuild generates bigger files than Angular Builder, and the other problem is Tailwind and CSS framework integration and NX workspace integration. NX, I guess. NX.
And meanwhile, we also got a new question in the Q&A area.
Yes, yeah, I say it. Can it be used with very big projects as well? Does it make a significant result? Yeah. I measured the difference between NGC as build and Angular DevKit Builder, and most of cases NGC as build is faster than 10 to 100 times, and it belongs to the technology and SCSS packages and the complexity of the application and so on. But NGC as build is significantly faster than Angular Builder, but NGC as build cannot check types, for example, types in HTML file, types in template file, and NGC as build doesn't generate tests as general Angular application. But I will show you the testing possibilities with NGC as build. There, Marcel, can I share my screen?
Of course, you can share. The stage is yours again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You are really generous. Yeah. And this is the test application, and I have tests, unit tests. For example, app component test and service test and model test and so on. I changed Angular JSON file, and I set my builder for testing and serving and building this application. The test builder is very different from the other builders, and I will show you the differences. Dev kit, yes, and this dev kit builder contains a setting file, builders.json file, and this file contains the type of builders. For example, build, serve, and test. And we can place these names into the Angular JSON. Build, and serve. Serve. Build and build, yes, build. And serve and test. I can change these names. This is the custom. These are custom names. These are custom names. Only custom names. I can place a new name and change this name to cat or honey and so on. But these names are good. Yes, and then the dev kit builder contains a test directory, and the test directory contains index.ts file, and this code is responsible for running tests. Yes, this is the main function, create builder function. This is a Angular function, and this function calls my builder. The parameters which came from the Angular settings, Angular.json file, and this is these settings options. This is the options parameter. Options parameter came from the Angular JSON file. And this is the concrete call of ngC Esbuild, bundle through entry points and minify and so on. And the most important thing is testing, because await jest runner. I created a jest runner function, and this function, jest runner function, is there, jest runner, and I call jest testing framework, and this framework uses JS-DOM, and the roots the jest directory, and my builder building the test files and translates these to these two common JS version into this directory, jest.js directory, and jest runs these files. For example, when I run this command npm test, my builder creates .jest directory, and .jest directory contains the JS versions of TS files, TS test files, the translated TS TypeScript files, and this is the native JavaScript version of app component spec file. This is a big and long file, but it's not a problem, because This is a translated TS file. Yes, and my builder compiles tests and just runs the tests. And I will show you a typical test running process. npm test. This test will be fail. Oh no. Yes, two tests failed because I changed the title from testing to mocking. This is a problem because the test is waiting for testing, and that's it. That component should have a title testing. Yes, type of testing, and should render title. Yes, this change occurs to problem, and I fix it. I will fix it. src app component spec, and I change testing to mocking. Yes, and contain mocking. Yes, and test again. Yeah, that's it. This test environment is more clearer and nicer than Karma, because Karma test environment came from Angular 1. This was the test framework of Angular 1. Angular 1 level, Angular 1, Angular 1, 1.1, 1.2.1, 1.5, and so on. This is a very old test framework, and a very big test framework, and the footprint of Karma is enormous. For example, I removed Karma from this project, from package.json. Sorry, I didn't. Yes, Karma Chrome Launcher, Karma Coverage, Jasmine Reporter, and types Jasmine, and Angular Dev Kit Builder. These are absolutely unnecessary. Yeah, I save it. For testing, I remove node modules directory. I will remove node modules and node modules and the package log.json. Yes. And recreate it, npm and npm install command and amount of data and so on is significantly less, and yeah, that's it. And test again, npm test. As you see, Esbuild completed these three files in a half a second. This and ran 5 test cases in 2 seconds. This is awesome. And I don't know that do you have new questions? Because I lost the code for Slido.
We have one more questions. I can share the link with you, and you can also share your screen, or I just share my screen, how you wish.
Yes, I stop my sharing.
Can I share my screen? It should be this one. So the question is, I think the main problem with Angular CLI is not Webpack. If you profile it, the main performance bottleneck is TSC. It would be great, write compiler without TSC.
Yeah, TSC is a necessary thing for Angular, because Angular code, Angular developers are working with TypeScript, and a TypeScript compiler is necessary, absolutely, for the Angular project. But Esbuild runs TSC commands massively parallel processes, as a parallel processes, and this behavior is very good, because and Esbuild can be super fast. Can be super fast, and NGC Esbuild is written by Go language, and Golang is a massive language for parallel tasks and parallel processes. And Golang uses all of the processor and CPU seeds and CPU threads, and I like Esbuild, but Esbuild runs TSC too. Esbuild call TSC routines, but more efficiently. I don't know that what is your opinion about it, Marcel?
I'm not really that deep into the topic, but meanwhile, we got a pretty exciting link to a blog post about optimizing TypeScript. Thanks for the link. So you can also find it in the chat, and you can read it through after the meetup.
Sorry, could I interrupt just a minute?
Of course.
It was my question. Sorry, I am anonymous on Slido. I don't know why, but it's changed to my username to anonymous. So it was a really interesting presentation. I really like it. So thank you very much for your work. I really appreciate it. I think this project is really great, and it's worth it to think it over and forward. Esbuild use TSC, but the main problem, I think, with an Angular compiler, it's use the TypeScript TSC, and the TypeScript so TSC written by JavaScript, and the JavaScript TSC is really so compile the JavaScript file to JavaScript. So Esbuild is much more performant, but there are a lot of other options. For example, what I linked is SVC, which is a Rust-based compiler. So you are able to compile TypeScript without JavaScript. I know.
Without JavaScript.
Yes, but
so interesting.
Yes, but unfortunately for compiling, JavaScript is not a good language. You know, it's good for handle lots of I/O things, but for code compiling is the worst solution, and the basic TSC compiler, unfortunately, really slow, and this is the reason why, for example, the test runs slow the most of the Angular application, because the TypeScript compiling is horrible. And what you mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the most of the laptops not handle well the Angular compiler or Angular CLI, because it uses a lot of CPU and memory. And what you write it, this Esbuild solution is much better. And I hope the Angular team also see this issue. It's a lot of issues on the GitHub. So you can see a lot of other people has the same problem. And I am also frustrating at some time. And I hope that the Angular team will change this behavior, and they will use Esbuild or SVC or other compiler, because the TSC based TypeScript compiling is horrible, and I can understand your pain.
It's full. Yeah, I understand. I understood. Thank you for your opinion, Csaba. And
if I can, I really open for helping you.
Yeah.
To think it forward this library, because I think it has a lot of possibility to integrate to the official Angular package. So
yes,
maybe it's worth it to think it over.
Yes, you're right. And Angular team started using Esbuild in Angular 13, but only a side process, side things, and it is not a main compiler. It only responds for
compiling the dependencies. Yes, I know. I read the issue on the GitHub. The main problem is, I think, for compiling templates and CSS, it's not with the Esbuild. So only the dependencies compiled by. So the Angular compiler compiled dependencies with Esbuild, but when you write a lot of components, all of them compiled by TSC, and it's really slow.
Yes, and I appreciate and I thank you for your offer, and I will message you. And yes, this will be a revolution of Angular building, and we will be the leaders of this revolution. I think. But 3 years ago, or 5 years ago, this week, a guy from NX Workspaces messaged me messaged me and sent me some questions about my application, my NGC Esbuild compiler, and this guy created a fork of this NGC Esbuild, and this fork can compile NX applications with NGC Esbuild. And unfortunately, our time is too short for any aspects or every aspects of this work. But if you're interested in, please send me a message, and I am open with co-working. Thank you, Csaba. Yes. Wait a moment. I am checking my notices, and need component testing, real example, comparisons, performance. Yeah. Yeah, bottlenecks. There will be the dark side of NGC Esbuild. And NGC Esbuild is an awesome thing, but there are some limitations. For example, file size and SCSS imports, unnecessary files, and so on. I will show you an example. Can I share my screen, Marcel?
Yes, you can share your screen. I stop sharing mine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Share. Yes. And I will make an example and I will show you a worst case. For example, ng add ngc bootstrap. NGC bootstrap is a familiar package for Angular, and ngc bootstrap contains bootstrap components and bootstrap styles and so on. Yes. And Angular can update and install this NGC Esbuild, and this process makes many changes. For example, firstly, this process changes the style SCSS file, styles SCSS, and places two unnecessary imports. Why these imports is this imports unnecessary? Because these imports only contains basic bootstrap styles, and when NGC bootstrap places these imports into the styles SCSS, Esbuild and SCSS has to recompile these styles. For example, the whole bootstrap code base, SCSS code base. This is an unnecessary work, unnecessary process. I will check the performance, npm start. Is not too fast. And npm start required more than 3 and about 4 seconds. It's too much. It's too much, because SCSS recompile all of SCSS files and all of Bootstrap SCSS declarations and so on. When I place this BS picker into a comment and save it, compiling is the same. And when I place into the comment this whole Bootstrap, and this is the difference. This is not the problem of this is not an Esbuild problem. This is an optimization. This is an optimization problem. And because when we don't use native Bootstrap SCSS files, we don't have to place this Bootstrap SCSS into the styles SCSS file. Yes, I tried to fix this problem, and my compiler, where is my compiler? NGC Esbuild. Yes, NGC Esbuild. And NGC Esbuild contains a plugin for SCSS building. Esbuild setting SCSS CSS resolver, no, lib, and SCSS worker. I try to make a faster SCSS compiling, and I put SCSS compiling into a worker, a JS worker, and the JS worker runs in a separated thread, and can be faster than a simple JavaScript routine. And this worker compiles SCSS files, and this worker runs massively parallel, and in parallel, and contains a cache and many optimizations. But SCSS processing is a resource starving thing, unfortunately. This is not a real limitation. This is only a circumstances of Angular and web projects. Yes, this is a typical bottleneck. And so on. Thank you very much. Your attention, and I finished. Marcel?
Sorry. I just couldn't find my mute button, but I found it finally. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And meanwhile, we have one more question. Actually, it's my question. I can also share my screen, but maybe you already see it. Anyway, I try to share my screen. Just a second.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Actually, I also want to show it, not just literally say it. So maybe it's easier for everybody to understand. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Actually, the question was, for me, it wasn't sure yet. Then does Esbuild use TypeScript compiler or it doesn't?
Yes. Esbuild uses TSC. It's true. It is true, but Esbuild only a compiler and not a linter, only a compiler. And the main responsibility of Esbuild for compiling files and not linting. And if you check the Esbuild documentation, Esbuild creator said this is an upcoming change, and he plans it. But Esbuild is a very complicated and written by Golang, and I try to make a fork from Esbuild, and I let it go.
Got it. Thank you very much.
I let it go. This is a very big work, very big and time-consuming work, and I only want to implement Esbuild for Angular and into Angular, not create a new one.
Okay, thank you. Then,
for example, when I started this project, Esbuild Esbuild wasn't able to create separated files, chunk files, and when I am working on this project, Esbuild creator rolling out a new feature, and Esbuild started supporting to file chunks, and I was very happy because I could implement the routing. What was the name of the special routing? Lazy loading. Yes, I could implement lazy loading feature because Esbuild creator invented and created the chunks, but it needs many optimizations, but it currently it is working correctly.
If there's no any questions, and if I understood it right, then you are also finished, Joe, right? Or is there anything you want to add before we come to drafting a ticket for the conference I mentioned at the beginning?
This is the most important question because this is your question.
So, are we through? You mean you finished your presentation, right?
Yes, I finished.
Okay, that's great. Then I would just jump to, please let me know whether you see as I switch between the tabs, because I'm not sure what did I share. Did I share just a tab or did I share my whole browser? Can you give me a feedback? Do you see the Meetup site?
Yes, it's the whole browser.
Okay, thank you very much. Then it's pretty simple. We have this Angular Global Summit 22, and today I got pretty good news from the organizers because they told that they have for such small communities like the Hungarian Angular and Angular Meetup a couple of totally free tickets. So this is what we want to raffle today. My first question is, who is interested? Who would really want to take part? Because I guess it doesn't make sense if we give it out to somebody who doesn't even have time or doesn't even want to visit this. So this is at the end of March, 3 days, full days meetup, and everything is online. You can also Google it, Angular Global Summit 22. I can also share the link with you, and you can have a look at it. So what I need actually, I found a pretty good tool to do the raffling. It's this pretty name wheel. So what we will do, we will simply list the names of all the people who are interested. So what I need from you in this turn is actually a thumb up. If you send any kind of emoji in Zoom, then I will write your name into this list. Okay, so Csaba is there. Dani, sorry, I will write full names. Csaba Tamás, Daniel Kovács. Anybody else? Or you, okay, Agostin is also interested, but you didn't find the reaction button, I guess.
You left me out. You left me out.
Yeah, so you are also, oh, sorry. Okay, József Cserkó. Who sent, wait a second, Zemplényi Luca. Okay. Anybody? Gábor Elsi. Mark Maróti. Okay. Is still anybody there who wants to come? I don't see any more emojis. Okay, we have still, I don't know, 5 seconds. So anybody, if you want to take part in this raffling, then please write a message in the chat or send an emoji. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, then we will spin. Let's see. It's really exciting part. And we have a winner. So
Daniel.
pretty nice user interface. So Daniel, please send me your email address. You can send it privately in this chat, or I can also, yeah, I think that's the easiest. If you send me your email address, then I will get in touch with you and I will send you the further details. And as the last questions, we always try to improve the meetup. So this is why we are always curious. What do you think, or how do you like it? How did you like it? So this is why I will just start the last survey. It's the meetup satisfaction survey. So you can answer between 1 and 10. How likely would you recommend this meetup to any of your friends? And finally, I will also share the results with you. So maybe we can also draw some conclusions from that. And if you have any feedback, like what we can improve, then yeah, just let us know. You can write it also in the chat, also publicly, also privately. Until now, we have 7 votes from the 8 votes from the 9 participants.
Yes. Daniel, this name is familiar to me.
Yes, you are right.
Are you my student too?
Yeah, it's a small community, I think.
So thank you very much. You can also see the results. I was happy that you came, and I hope it was pretty useful for everybody. And if you have any kind of feedback, like really any kind of, we don't take it personally, you can let us know whether, I don't know, it should be longer, faster, more speaker, whatever, just let us know. Yeah, otherwise, thank you for coming, and thanks a lot for József, for Joe, for preparing and holding this presentation. It was pretty exciting. And yeah, I think I wish you a good luck. And I think that all the community wishes you a good luck. And hopefully you will also find some brave contributors who will, yeah, pave the way.
Yes. Thank you very much. And you are the best host, Marcel. Thank you for your work.
Thank you very much. Then I would say, yeah, see you on the next meetup, maybe next month, maybe a couple of weeks.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
Bye bye.